What's up? How you doing? Welcome back to Black Bear News. Please remember to like the video and to make sure that you are still subscribed. So yeah, I don't know. I wasn't feeling really inspired uh, to do a video. Feeling a little bit, I don't know. I guess I don't know if depressed would be the word, but just not very optimistic today. It seems like the establishment forces in the Democratic Party and just the general power structure has aligned somewhat successfully against Bernie Sanders, and so I'm feeling a little under the weather emotionally, but whatever. I don't. It's not the end of the race. It's not the end of the fight because it's actually still have like how many more months to go? 3 more months to go after March, and we're halfway through. Not even halfway through March. So we're 1 week into March. March, April, May, June. It ends in June. So 4 months to go in this race. So anything can happen. Of course, it's not over, but it just wasn't a good day for Bernie yesterday. Obviously, yeah, Joe's winning. Joe won yesterday. Maru, how you doing? And he got the bump from people dropping out and endorsing him, all kinds of other people endorsing him. He got a bump from South Carolina. He got a bump from all the media coverage, and that has an accumulative effect. Thank you so much for your super chat, Maru. I appreciate you. Has a cumulative effect on people's outlook on what is possible or what's going to happen, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit like what really actually irks me is the idea, and Maru, I'm not talking to you specifically. What irks me is the gullibility of people to the messaging from the mainstream media. It's just, it's the same gullibility that people have in not believing that climate change is a problem. I mean, I just had an exchange with somebody today on Facebook who posted something about if you remember the story about the antelope, and I forget the name of the antelope. It's the name escapes me right now, but there was a certain type of antelope on the Russian plains, and they all died very mysteriously and suddenly. This is about 5 years ago. Well, he posted the article from 5 years ago. It was 2015. And I said, the saiga is the name of I think it's the saiga is the name of the antelope. Saiga. This certain species of antelope, all like thousands of antelope died suddenly on the Russian plain. And what they figured out was that this was due to climate change. Why was it due to climate change? Well, it was more humid, and more warm weather was causing a certain bacteria that lived inside these animals that was not previously lethal to suddenly become. So this was a climate change induced die-off, a climate change induced situation or extinction. The animal didn't go entirely extinct, but thousands died all at once. It was a huge event. Anyways, my friend posted a link to this article, and I said, this article is super old. Yeah, exactly. You human, what's going on. He posted a link to this 2015 article. I said, this link is old and climate change. And he responded, this is a person who votes for Bernie, by the way. He responded with something like, the climate is always changing, with or without humans. So again, people who might be somewhat aware politically or somewhat aware, like on a sociological level, of many machinations, still doing climate denier mode or doing climate denier stuff. Echoes of Not says rate of change. Exactly. I'm going to try and read some of your comments while they're coming up, but they come up for a very short amount of time, so I apologize if I don't get to all of them. Anyways, I understand that people just believe what they believe, and it's very hard to change people's minds. And people exist on a huge spectrum of thought, right? There are people that are aware of climate change that think that Biden is a perfectly acceptable candidate. And Maru, if that's you, fine, whatever. But the bottom line is that Obama did very little for climate change. And he made some motions. He was like Paris Agreement, thumbs up. He also increased fracking and increased oil independence for the United States. So his policies led to an increase in carbon emissions and oil use and just continued business as usual. And those policies have been continued under Trump, which is funny because we see Trump doing terrible things to the environment and we're like, oh my God, but these are things, a lot of the things he's doing, not the reduction in the environmental regulations. That wasn't Obama. Obama increased environmental regulations, and those things were good. But he also increased a policy of energy independence for the United States, which included fracking wells. Joe Biden was definitely in support of that. Thank you, Human. Yeah, Human is posting facts about the Saiga die-off in Russia. Thank you. Yes, Obama. Yeah, Obama tried is a relative term because if you give lip service in this area, or if you say like environmental protections and then you do environmentally destructive things over here, it's an incredibly mixed message. And what it does is it makes people think that you care. What that is called is a form of lying on some level. It makes people think that you care or that you're doing good things, and then you're also over here in this area doing bad things. So exactly. Thank you very much, Jacob, talking out both sides of his mouth. Again, the same things that Obama did as far as the economy, right? Like the figure is 91% of the wealth gain over Obama's tenure went to the 1%. Right? So he basically did exactly the same thing that Trump is doing right now. He screwed the working class. So many people lost their houses under Obama. So many black Americans lost their houses under Obama. I don't understand why they're like, just come on, Joe Biden, make it like it was. Make it like it was so that more black people lost their houses, or more people who were underwater on their mortgages lost their houses. Make it like it was. That's facts. See you later, Maru. Thank you for your super chat. I appreciate you. Have a good work day. Those are facts. You can look those up. However, a lot of people want to avoid facts or deny facts, or I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not going to argue. It's really hard to argue things that people are really locked into believing, whether you present them with facts or not. And we all know this phenomenon when it comes to climate change deniers. Facts are facts, evidence is evidence. Yes, echoes of not. Make it like it was to bail out the banks again. Exactly. So, Biden's record is not something to be proud of, and it's really not something to vote for. No, Obama did not. He did not do anything about the Keystone Pipeline until it became a thing, until it became such a huge public relations problem that he stepped in. So the Keystone Pipeline went on and on and on, and people were being maimed, people were being hurt, protesters were being, sprayed with water. This was escalating the situation, and Obama said nothing. For months, he let it go on and on and on. And then finally, after it had gotten to a fever point, a fever pitch, and people were pissed, he finally came in and said, oh, we're gonna halt the pipeline. After, this went on for months and months and became a thing. Um, Also, interestingly, Elizabeth Warren, who supposedly was part Native American, didn't say jack shit about Keystone Pipeline until after Obama said something about Keystone Pipeline. Until after. There were people talking about it, supporting the protesters. Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard, people were on the right side of the issue, were speaking out about the Keystone Pipeline. Obama didn't say jack shit until it was politically unfeasible for him to do anything else but come out and say something. Same with Elizabeth Warren. She is, not she's a political player in the game. She doesn't, she's not a progressive. She's just not a progressive. If she drops out of the race, she's probably going to back Biden. She won't back Bernie because she didn't back Bernie in 2016. Why? Because she's a coward. She's a political coward. That is straight up and funky the truth, right? So this is just, we're gearing up for more of the same. We're gearing up for another, repeat of 2016, or at least that's what they're. Yes, Warren is a closet Republican. She used to be a Republican until 1997, and then she, changed it up or whatever. Supposedly changed it up. So, she backs Hillary in 2016. She jumps in the race after Bernie Sanders has already announced and was the front runner last year. Clearly she is in the pocket or in the employ of the establishment, and she is really, really trying to get in the way of Bernie's vote. I don't doubt that when she drops out, and maybe she'll drop out. Hopefully she drops out soon, because there's no point in her being in the race. She didn't win one state yesterday. She didn't win her own state. If she drops out, she most likely will not endorse Bernie Sanders, because she's been just speaking badly about him for at least the last few months, just, going after him. She just went after him a couple days ago. She's not going after Biden. She's not going after the corporate people. She's not trying to delineate her position from any centrist position. She's just going after Bernie Sanders. So that should tell you whose side she's on. Yeah, so we're gearing up for another repeat of 2016. I'm there's a long way to go. There's still a fight left to fight. For now, we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. There's many states voting over the next couple of weeks. And we'll see what transpires. If Bernie can pick up the pace, if people can get people up to speed, if Bernie can get his detractors up to speed on who Joe Biden really is, on who Elizabeth Warren really is. Bloomberg dropped out today. Of course, everybody knows that. Thank God. Of course, he sent his support to one Joe Biden. Yeah, I'm not feeling very hopeful today. I have to be honest. I'm not feeling very good, and my issues are getting Medicare for all for people. My issues are climate change. Obviously, this is a climate change channel. A Joe Biden presidency. Well, Joe Biden's not going to win, for one. So Joe Biden being the nominee ensures that Trump will win. Period. Straight up. You can lock me in on that prediction right now, because everybody was saying this in 2016. If Hillary's the nominee, she's going to lose to Trump. All the Bernie Sanders people were saying, all right, go ahead. And what happened was, people crying in the streets. Oh my God, how did this happen? People were telling you for months, dude, oh my God. So, whatever. A Biden nomination means a Trump presidency, means 4 more years of environmental deregulation, means, 4 more years of going backwards on doing anything about climate change. If we had 12 years as of last year, there's a whole year has passed, or 12 years as of 2018, a whole year passed. We have 11 years. If, Trump is reelected, or even if Biden is elected, we have 4 more years of very minimal action on climate change. So that pretty much locks in, I don't know what it locks in. Just locks in certain doom, if certain doom isn't already locked in. yeah, I don't know what to tell people. We're just we're going down in flames of stupidity. We're going down in uh, just being, really, really certain that we know what's best for the country. But, all of those things were told to us by CNN and MSNBC and Washington Post and the New York Times and the Huffington Post. And, corporate media has just sent out this narrative and just locked in this narrative in people's minds, and they just cannot see anything. They can't see their way around it, and I've been hoping that independent media would. I think, independent media is very influential these days, but so is, the Google algorithm is extremely influential these days. It's influential in blocking people from this news. Even more so than 2016. In 2016, you could Google things and have videos come up, from people trying to get in the way of the mainstream media narrative and try and give you some alternative information. Now, not so much. Not so much. The Google algorithm is strong. The YouTube algorithm is strong, and more and more, you're going to see alternative voices squashed, silenced, sidelined. It's going to be tougher and tougher to get real information out and real truth out. But so it's very, very important that you support all kinds of alternative media. Whoever it is that you are interested in listening to, whoever you think are good tellers of truth, support them today. Because it's going to be really tough to get around this information blockade. I hate to say it, but Alex Jones said it best in the name of his channel said it best. InfoWars is exactly what we're in the middle of. But he's no longer around. He's no longer around. So yeah, I mean, I don't know where this puts us today. I'm just, I'm trying to actually kind of get myself out of I'm trying to get myself out of a funk today. I'm trying to kind of encourage myself to continue the fight. Climate change is under attack. Climate change news and climate change channels are under attack. Any alternative news channels are under attack. It's good. It's very difficult. Human says podcast with Hillary this March. Are you talking to me? Oh, no. No, thank you. Yeah, I'm going to be doing some more interviews, guys, pretty soon. We'll be getting some other voices on the channel that need to be heard. It's very difficult for me to get people lined up, and for me to line up my incredibly intensely complicated schedule with other people's intensely complicated schedules. But that doesn't mean I shouldn't try. Yeah, I don't know. It was a weird night. Bernie won California. Bernie won Colorado. Bernie won. What else did he win? He won a couple of states. Vermont. Am I missing something? He's close in Maine. He won Utah. Those are good. Those are good things to build on. California is incredibly huge. It's probably it's the biggest state. So yeah, Bernie tanked in Virginia and didn't do so well in North Carolina. He was really close in Texas. Actually, he was winning Texas for quite a while. So he was up in Texas for a whole couple of 4 or 5 hours, and then Joe Biden kind of came and overtook him. Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that Bloomberg dropped out and stopped splitting the vote. One less person to split the vote. Hopefully Warren comes to her senses and gets out this week. I'm done with Elizabeth Warren completely and utterly as a human being and as a politician. Just she needs to just go. Bloomberg just needs to go as a human being, as a pseudo human being, pseudo politician needs to go. Biden winning Texas was huge. Yeah, but it's so close. The thing is it's almost a split between him and Bernie. They're almost at the same percentage. Or I think it's 3%. He won it by 3%. So Bernie's still going to get a lot of delegates out of Texas, a lot of delegates. He got a lot of delegates all over the place. So, he's still rather close in delegates. So it doesn't mean that it's the end of the road. It just means that the establishment made a strong play and it was a successful one, and it doesn't look like, it's going to be a very uphill slog for Bernie from here on out. And that's truly, truly unfortunate. And it doesn't look, his chances at the convention don't look good if he doesn't come in with a majority or a strong plurality of votes. It does not look good for him. So, and it doesn't look good for climate change. This is a sad day for people that care about climate change. It's just a really bad day. We're going backwards, people, and we're probably going backwards into another 4 years of Trump, and for another 4 years of going backwards on climate change. That leaves us with not a lot of options other than to get in people's faces, to get out in the street. And I don't know how well that's going to go for those in the service of the environment either. I don't know how that's going to go. But anyways, thank you guys for hopping on. Just wanted to do this a little morning shout. I will be back probably tomorrow and hopefully in better spirits. The 1% won again. I like that. That's a pretty good summation. The 1% won again. Get in people's faces and give them coronavirus. Right on. Coronavirus for climate change. I'm here representing coronavirus for climate change. Fun game says money always wins. It's looking like that. I mean, the elite, the 1%, the oligarchy have full control, and they are not giving it up. They're not giving it up. There's no way they're going to let things, let a one Bernie Sanders come in and upset their power paradigm. They're not going to let that happen. So I don't really know. That's my problem right now is I really don't know what the answer is. In the face of the overwhelming odds, the overwhelming capture of the media and the government by the moneyed elite, they have overwhelming control. I don't know what to do in the face of that. It doesn't seem like you can really get around that. 2016, kind of proved the point, and 2020 is probably going to just drive that point right on home, that there really isn't a way around it. But people are trying. We're really trying. I think that Bernie made some mistakes so far. He didn't take Joe Biden down early. He kept calling him a friend, and he just didn't take people down early enough. He didn't really come out strong, with the hammer. Also, I think that probably Bernie Sanders would have been better served by just jumping into the race independent. He should have started independent right out of the gate. He should have not done the Democrat thing. He already got cheated by the Democrats in 2016. He already was cheated by the DNC once, and why he believed that the DNC wouldn't cheat him again, I don't know how. I think he was incredibly optimistic on that point. He probably should have had, anybody want to join me in a timeshare in the Antarctic? That's Raza Remen. Sounds good to me. He probably should have started independent and just run strong independent the entire time, and should have just circumvented the whole thing. And he might have had a better chance at taking out both the Dems and Trump. But right at this point, I don't think that he has any chance whatsoever. He doesn't have a chance. I don't know how it's going to go. We'll see, though. Stiff upper lip and all that sort of raw. And thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you. Thank you for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. And you know how to support the channel at the links below. So peace and chicken